Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Denise, and with me to present is our sensational solutions architect, Olena Stepovyk, to whom I will hand off in just a moment. So let's go ahead and jump right into some quick housekeeping. Everyone should have a control panel similar to the one I'm showing, and each of you will have connected to today's webinar muted by default, but you can type in questions or comments at any time throughout the session, right where you see the red arrow is pointing, and then we will address them in the order received during the Q&A.
Thank you, Denise. Today we will talk about product change management in QED. One of the core processes in any ERP system, in our case it is QED, is defining details of the manufactured products. This includes setting up product structures and required manufacturing steps. Once you have this initial setup in QED, you can track the materials and manufacturing costs. In our previous webinars, we talked about initial setup of product structures and routings. You can find recording of all our past webinars on our website. I think most of you are quite familiar with product structure and routing maintenance functions in QED. The initial setup is, however, just a first step. You will need to make changes to items, their product structures and routings on a regular basis, whether for the existing products or the new ones. This is where it becomes very important that changes made are not only accurate, but also timely, coordinated, and went through the approval process. The change process needs to be managed efficiently to achieve those goals. The efficiency of any process is dependent on the tools used. We can use the same tools we have used for the initial setup. Modify product structure using product structure maintenance function, and routing is using routing maintenance. Changes can be made in advance or delayed by setting the revision effective date. However, if you need to have a better control over the changes' effective dates, make sure they do not affect production activity until approved, communicated to all players involved, and have an audit trail. The better way would be to use Product Change Control module in QED, or in short, PCC. With PCC functionality in QED, you can modify existing item engineering data, product structures, routings, formulas, processes, and item specifications, create new items, structures, routings, formulas, or processes, define an approval cycle for product changes, and after approval, incorporate the changes into product definition. Product change control functionality is built around two types of documents: product change requests, in short PCRs, and product change orders, in short PCOs. PCRs records requests for product changes. They can be incorporated into product change order, but they do not affect product definitions, therefore can be optional. They're useful for companies that receive requests from various sources, such as customers or field representatives, and hold these requests for further processing. Product change control can be set up to require change requests. After change request is created, it is routed for approval. Once it is approved, it is typically closed or converted into change order. Unapproved PCRs are returned back with comments. As I already mentioned, whether a change request is approved or not, it has no effect on the product definition unless it is converted into a change order. Product change orders is what manages the introduction of changes to product definitions. They're usually strictly controlled through an approval process. After change request is approved, it can be closed or converted into a PCO using PCR maintenance. The life cycle of a product change order is more extensive than of a product change request, since orders typically affect production data. Order can be created by copying or combining existing order or requests, or by converting requests into orders. When a change order is ready, it is routed for approval. Groups and users who must approve the change order can be notified via email that the order is ready for review. They will see the queue of submitted orders, add comments, and approve or reject each change order individually. Once the PCO has been approved electronically by all necessary personnel, it is ready to be released. When change order is officially released and distributed, the manufacturer is responsible for implementing the changes. The change date can be set as mandatory, or manufacturer can be allowed to select a changeover date based on the least cost, minimum disruption, or other relevant factors. To plan for the effective dates for changes, QED Incorporation Planning Report can be used to check for inventory levels and their monetary values of items affected by a change order. Effective dates can be assigned then using incorporation selection function. Incorporation of PCO updates the product definition in QED. Prior to this step, the PCO changes do not affect the item master, product structure, or formula tables. Incorporation makes this data available to MRP, DRP, and other modules. PCO incorporation is essentially an update process that should be run in a batch mode for most companies. Once change order is incorporated, MRP uses the effective date of product changes to plan future orders. However, until the effective date is reached, PCO changes do not affect current operations. When PCO effective date has arrived and all changed items, product structures, formulas, routings, processes, and item specifications are in production, this happens as a result of incorporation step, implementation updates item revision numbers and other item data in item master. You can determine which manufacturing process you want to control with PCC and activate the appropriate sections. There are 4 possible activation programs in QED. You can enable PCC to control structure maintenance, routing maintenance, formula maintenance, and item specification maintenance. To satisfy the requirement for process control and traceability, the product change control functionality has more steps and requires more information to be entered, comparing with if changes are made directly through BOM or routing maintenance functions. This may translate into more time spent on the process. To use the benefits of product change control module in QED and minimize efforts involved in data maintenance, we designed a PCC workbench. PCC workbench is a powerful but very easy to use Excel interface to some of the core functions in QED PCC module. It is very easy to use, does not require any customizations, and gives visibility to all product changes. It does require initial PCC module setup in QED, such as defining change types, design groups, and approval structure, and enabling BOMs, routings, and item specifications control through PCC module. PCC Workbench has a PCO summary tab, where you can see all your product change orders, their approval status and implementation date, and separate tabs for bill of materials, routing changes, and item update. From the Summary tab, you can see pending and closed product change orders and their statuses. I will show you a couple of different product change scenarios. Scenario 1 will be replacing a component part. There are a couple of things that need to be considered with this kind of scenario. First, while change might be initiated by engineering, finance might want to estimate and be prepared for the cost impact. Operations need to know when change will take effect and be prepared for it. In last, purchasing will need to put purchase order in place and make sure they will have replacement components in stock on time. Therefore, making this change through product change order and not directly via product structure or routing maintenance will be more beneficial. For this scenario, I will be creating change order for the bill of materials. I am switching to BOM PCO tab. Existing component that I will be replacing is 88-4000. I can search for its exact code in QED by either item code or description. So I can type partial description to the lookup, and this is my component I want to change. Now I can download all bill of materials they have this component. Here are all BOMs that will be affected by my component change. I will need to deactivate this component by setting yes in deactivate column and introduce a new one with different code. For this, I will copy my affected BOMs and I will enter my new component code. I have it here. I can do lookup 2, and this is the one I will be replacing with. So I'll just copy. Deactivate will be no, and I can specify or update quantity per for each bill of material. So the list of changes for the existing bill of materials, there are multiple of them, is ready. Now we need to upload this data into QED and create a product change order. Product change order will not take effect until it is approved and implemented. It means I can create it ahead of time, well before the change will need to take effect. I need to give my order title and reason. And choose order type and group it belongs to. Depending on the type and group, order will get routed and will need to be approved by a different set of people. Routing and approval matrix is created during the initial PCC module setup in QED using PCC setup menu. I will pick the type and design group that reflects the changes I'm making. New product change order number will be generated by QED automatically. ID and database fields I can leave blank or optionally fill them in. They are allowed to group product change orders together. If I need to link all orders related to the same project or site, I can use ID field. Let me put code 200 as an ID. This will be my reference to a project code. Now I will click on Upload button, and all BOM changes I prepared will be loaded into QED as product change order. I can now go into PCO Summary tab and download all PCO orders I have in QED for my project code. I can view PCO details, and here I can see PCO approval status, schedule implementation date. Our order doesn't show this information yet because we have not routed it for approval. I can select the order I need to route and click on Edit PCO. PCO details will be automatically downloaded into the corresponding tab. Here's my PCO with detailed changes required and cost components involved. And now I need to route it for approval. I will put some routing commands. And send it for approval. Now, if I will go to PCO Summary tab, I will see that PCO has been sent for approval and who will need to approve it. The change type I picked when created the order requires approval by engineering and purchasing. Once they will approve the changes, information will be displayed here in PCO summary. Let me approve this PCO on behalf of engineering to show how PCO status will change here. I will do the approval in another screen behind the scenes. Let's now get the latest order status from QED. You will see the approval date and ID of the person who approved the change in the approved by column. Now I will do the same on behalf of the purchasing department. We'll refresh my order status here on PCO summary tab, and here is the ID of the person from the purchasing department who approved the change. Approval matrix can be very simple. It could be just one person to approve everything, or there could be more people involved in the approval process. In both cases, there will be a complete audit trail of all product changes in QED. Another change order scenario will be new product rollout. Obviously, there will be a lot of activity for the new product rollout outside of QED. But from QED perspective, we will need a new bill of materials, maybe a new routing, and most likely new item code. For simplification, I will assume that all components I need are already defined or exist in QED. I will need to create a new item code only for my new finished product, then create a BOM for it and a routing. I will combine all these steps in one product change order and will use PCO type new. For my new item, I can use existing item as a template. This will simplify data entry for me. I can then get from QED data for this item, modify them for my new one. Note that I don't have access to all item master fields from product change control module and from PCC Workbench. Only these fields that you can see on the screen. I will assign my new item status ENG. This status has transaction restrictions in place. Once PCC order is approved, inventory cost and planning details will need to be added to item master, and status can be changed from ENG to another one. I need to fill in the order header. Let's put title. And reason. I will probably need to add design group here. And now the order is ready to be created in QED. Before I will do that, I want this order to be linked to the same project we created the first one. So I will assign ID to 100. Now it's all ready. I will click on upload. And if there's no errors, new order number will be created in QED. Now I will add to the same PCO bill of materials and routing. I will copy my PCO number. We'll go to BOM PCO and we'll download the header, so I won't need to retype one. I can use existing BOM as a template or key in all information. Since I was using this item, I can get BOM for it from QED and just redo it for my new item. Everything is ready. I can click on upload. And in a similar way, I can create routing. Also from the template. That's my sample item. which I will use to create routing for my new item. I can modify the details of the routing for the new item here. Once everything is ready, I will click on upload. My PCO is complete now. If I go to PCO summary tab and will download all the orders I created for ID 200, this is my new product change order. I don't see any information here about who should approve it or what's the effective date, because that order has not been routed yet. I can review it using view PCO function, or I can route it for approval through the edit PCO. Edit PCO will download from QED order components into its corresponding tabs, BOM and routing. And from here, doesn't matter from which one, I can route my order for approval. But first, I will put in the routing comments by what date it needs to be implemented. It is a recommendation at this point. QED allows to assign an actual implementation date only when PCO is approved. And I will route it for approval. I can go back to PCO summary tab, refresh. I can see now who will be approving my product change order and can monitor its approval status. If after routing order for approval I need to make changes to an order, I can still do that. I can click on Edit PCO. For example, I incorrectly entered the quantity for one of the BOM component. I can correct it, update my PCO, but the order will need to be rerouted. So the whole approval process needs to start over. Now if I re-download, you will see that there is no routing slip for my order. I need to go again and route it for approval. Again, doesn't matter from BOM or routing tab, you will do that. Here in PCO summary tab, I can refresh. And again, this routing slip is back, and now I can monitor who and when will approve my product change order. Since I use different type for this change order, it requests approval from different group of people than my first component change PCO. Another change scenario could be manufacturing operation time adjustment. Routing runtime allows to calculate required capacity and sometimes needs to be adjusted to reflect actual runtime and give more accurate capacity projection results. But any changes to it will affect product cost, inventory cost, price margin, and therefore need to be coordinated with finance. This kind of control and coordination can be done through product change order functionality as well. I can create a PCC order for routing update in PCC Workbench. I will use PCO type cost adjustment. Fill in title. And I can download routings affected by this change. I can do them one by one, like that, and get routing. If there is another item, I can type the code here and get another routing. Or I can download all of them, like that, and leave only those that needs to be modified. I will adjust only operation 10 for both routings. And let's say the runtime will be 1.5 and 2.5. When all data are ready, I can click on Upload and create new PCO. If there is any error detected by PCC Workbench, in this case, QED requires reason to be submitted, the affected field will be highlighted in red, and when you will mouse over, you will see what kind of error it is. If there are multiple errors, you can use the Find Error button, and it will point you to the cell with the error. You can fix it. And repeat the upload attempt. I will add also our project code. If there is no errors, PCO will get created, and now I can route it for approval to initiate the change. When I will switch to PCO summary, remember we are selecting only orders that are linked to our project code 200. I can download, and here is my order that needs to be approved by these two user groups. You have seen several different scenarios how PCC Workbench can be used to empower your organization by giving you better control and greater visibility over product changes. If you are interested to see how it can be used for your particular situation or scenario, we will be happy to look into details with you and suggest a solution. Now, if you have any questions about this tool or product change process in QED in general, I will be happy to answer them.
Excellent, Olena. Thank you so much. Let me switch back. We are going to go right into the Q&A. For anyone who may have missed the beginning, there where the red arrow is pointing is where you can go ahead and enter your questions. I do believe we have a question to start with. We do. Okay, first question, who can see the list of PCO orders and their content?
Thanks, Denise. Any person with access to PCO view function in QED, it's just regular user control setup, can download list of PCO orders into PCO summary tab, and then they can view the details related to bombs, routings, and item changes there. But only people with access to PCO maintenance function can make changes or create new products.
Great, thank you. Another question, does PCO route automatically send an email to a person who should approve it?
Yes, it will send an email if you have email option configured in QED. However, we can also add this emailing functionality to PCC Workbench as we did for some other tools. That emailing functionality will be independent from your QED setup and can be configured based on your needs and rules.
Great, thanks, Olena. Okay, one more it looks like. Do I need to set up the PCC module in QAD to use PCC Workbench?
Yeah, as I mentioned, yes, you need to do some basic setup, some order types and approval metrics, but the setup is quite straightforward. And if you're getting our PCC Workbench, we are helping you with this initial setup in QED.
Okay, that appears to be our last question. But if anybody thinks of anything after the session, give us a call or shoot us an email. We will include questions and answers for anything we receive right up until the replay is published. But for now, we'll go ahead and move along, and it looks like we might get everybody out of here a little early today. Okay, whether you have attrition or a need for process consistency or improvement, we are happy to help with your training needs. Although my stats need updating still, as of the start of the year, these were the numbers that we had. So if you need any training assistance, individual, and of course for any level of proficiency, just let us know. As you may know already, the user groups have scheduled their fall in-person conferences. 32Soft will be at both the Midwest and West Coast conferences in September and October, respectively. As I mentioned last month, Don Lindsay will be presenting, and these are his topics. I also mentioned last month, Don's presentations consistently rank among the most popular, and in the spring conferences, I did note that Don was second only to the keynote speaker. So if you are attending, you will want to catch Don's presentation, and we hope you'll stop by our booths to say hello as well. As far as webinars, next month we have Get Control and Visibility of Back-to-Back Orders, and that is followed in October by Fast, Accurate, and Easy Production Planning. And then to round out 2021, I can hardly believe I'm saying that, we have Balancing Inventory and Customer Need with DRP. Certainly, we hope you are able to join us for some, if not all, of our upcoming webinars. Our goal always is to help your organization optimize operations, and opportunities to do so vary, of course, and include a variety of controls and improvements, as Olena, some of which Olena showed us today. And I thought this was a quote worth sharing. The ideas of control and improvements are often confused with one another. This is because quality control and quality improvement are inseparable. And with that, Olena, did we cover everything we wanted to today?
Yes, thanks a lot, Denise, and thanks everyone for attending. If you have any questions about the functionality presented today, just send us an email. We'll do our best to answer them. And again, thanks a lot.
Yep. Thank you, Olena, very much for your time today. And as always, thank you all very much for joining us. From all of us at 32Soft, have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.